was a little tough in the beginning, but then, hey, once the game started, it's crazy. The fans, I remember the fans give me that standing ovation, but when I came in the ninth, it's like, oh man, like all I hear is boos. I'm like, hey, get it. I respect it. That's how LA is sometimes.
Fly ball onto the track, at the wall, it's gone! Home run!
Turns on a ball, deep right field, and gone!
What a game, what a moment. All right, I am pumped to welcome on the show now one of the greatest closers of all time, Kenley Jansen. Kenley, thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Hey, I want to start with what is going on out in Curaçao that just produces all these MLB players? You got, you can go back and look at Andruw Jones, Ozzie Albies, you got Jared Jurgens, Jurickson Profar, Jonathan Scope, yourself, Andrelton Simmons. It seems like a hotbed for baseball talent. You come from there as well. I mean, what's going on out there? How's it produce such great talent?
I think, first of all, you gotta say this. Thanks to Andruw Jones for doing what he did in the World Series.
Yeah.
So, take two homers, in the World Series and put us on the map. But then, also it's just how we start learning the game so young. I feel like in the age of 4 or 5, and I think it's so intense. And now they start to have more like turf, like artificial grass, but before that, just learning how to play the game, like taking ground balls on the dirt with rocks. You got to be afraid that ball doesn't hit you in your face. I think Andrelton said that one time also too, that it's so hard to feel a ground ball, like the field is uneven, and you got to make sure that ball don't even blow one of your teeth away. And I think guys just learn that quick and so talented that learning the fundamentals also too, that if you don't know how to bunt, you're not going to play.
Yeah.
So it's very strict. I don't know how it is now, but it's just, I remember when us growing up, like fundamentally you have to be on point, otherwise you're not gonna play.
From where you are and watching Andruw Jones play growing up, I'm from Virginia. I grew up a massive Atlanta Braves fan. One of my favorite players was Andruw Jones, watching him play the outfield. So I can't imagine you as a kid growing up watching Andruw Jones, seeing him and being able to say, he's from where I am. So what was it like being able to watch him play in Major League Baseball growing up?
It's unbelievable. I've grown up, with my parents being a Braves fan before Andruw got called up. I remember watching the 1995, that short season that the Braves Cleveland and win the World Series. I was so excited. And then I remember in 1996 when Andruw got called up, I think it was, I forgot, July or August, some around there.
Mm-hmm.
It was spectacular. Great story for Curaçao and what he did. Like I say, what he did in the playoffs and the World Series, I think it just get all of us hope. That you feel like, hey, finally you have someone that's representing you, such a small, island, and you don't have hope. Like, who's gonna see you? Like, which scout is gonna scout you? But I think what he did, and the diving catch that he did in the right field, online almost. Remember that, like on the bullpen was there, and he just reckless running, catch it, and all those stuff. Like, I still remember that, like yesterday. It's just give us hope, and I think of what he did in especially at 19 years old at that time. It was freaking unreal, and I think scouts start to believe, like, hey, let me go see what it is over there, and next thing you know, you start seeing more talented start to come on our island.
Riddle me this, Kenley. Why the hell is Andruw Jones not in the Hall of Fame yet?
It's unbelievable. Like, I gotta be careful of what to say, but the thing is, it's like, I think, it's great that, I don't know, man. I think what he did for 10 years of his career, I feel like, with the Braves, and he came up such a, young age and
Yeah.
10 Gold Glove. Like, I don't think you will never see a better defensive player like that no more in this game. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, the thing
Yeah.
is that he was playing so shallow. That's one people don't understand also
Yeah.
how shallow he was playing, and he put his head down and know where the ball is all the time and make it look easy.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, man. And plus, he had over 400 homers. I get it; he didn't hit as average, strike out a little bit, but still, man, what he did, I don't know, man. To me, 400 homer, 10 Gold Glove. Playing in the big leagues for 10 years is already hard.
Yeah.
This and 10 Gold Glove.
Yeah.
To me, it's like I want to see that. I want to see that happen. I want to see. Sometimes you think like, okay, what writers are thinking. Sometimes why. I ask those questions all the times on
Yeah.
majority of the writers, and majority of them is telling me like they don't understand why he's not in the Hall of Fame, and then it make me confused. It's
What?
like, so why is he not in the Hall of Fame then? You guys tell me the same story. Like, you don't understand why he's in the Hall of Fame. It's like, who's doing the voting wrong then? So I have a lot of conversation with a lot of writers, and every single one of them will tell you, you won't see a player that played defense like he did
Yeah.
than Andruw Jones. It's unbelievable.
That's the part that I don't understand. To hit over 400 homers, and then on top of that, you could ask every baseball fan that has ever existed, and 99% of them, if you say name three of the top outfielders of all time defensively, everyone's going to name Andruw Jones. He's just known to be
100%.
one of, if not the best defensive outfielders of all time, on top of hitting over 400 homers. I just don't get it. I digress, though.
It's unbelievable. I get it when he got with LA, things went, not as great, but you can't, I don't know, man. Like, you can't punish me. It's just like let's go a different sport. Like Shaq. Shaq was one of the most dominant big men ever.
Yeah.
And are you gonna sit down and look off his Celtics days, his Phoenix days?
Yeah.
He went through that also too, but he's still in the Hall of Fame. But it's the same thing. I feel like it's with Andruw. Like, that stretch that he was on, it was.
And that stretch was a decade. That stretch was a decade long. I don't.
Question those 4 or 5 years that he had after, and be like, no, no. Can this dude throw his? First of all, he was playing on turf a lot, like Philly, Montreal. This dude was throwing his body left and right. Doesn't care if he get hurt, and they was playing every single day back then too. It wasn't like us now that that's give you a break here and there. It's just straight up every day they was playing. They was playing through hurt and all that stuff. So you gotta see all those stuff, and playing in Atlanta's hot too, and then doing all that stuff. And I played there 1 year, and I'm like, man, how Andruw did this, So it's crazy. So to me, I still will say, to me, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. I mean, you won't see a better defense. Like, what, he retired now for a while now, and we're still searching. Like, tell me who's better than him defensively right now. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
I agree. For you, growing up there, what was the process like, signing with the Dodgers so young, and what was that process like for you?
Man, that process was great, man. I remember I went to Dominican, and Rene Francisco was there, and he wants me to be a pitcher already then. I remember, but they know how much I want to catch. They know the God-given arm that I have, and it was great, man. It was great. And I remember my first year in 2005, went to Vero Beach, and, you're by yourself now. Your family's all in Curaçao. You got to speak different language now. You got to meet different personalities. That was a scary part in the beginning, but then, you adjust to it, and it was fun, man. It was fun. I got to say, that experience at Dodger Town was amazing. It was amazing that guys from rookie ball all the way, to major league, because everybody in the old Dodger Town. So that kind of helped also too. But no, I like that process. Signed as a kid, 17 years old.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
As we all know, Paul Skeens made his debut the other night. He was originally a catcher. You were originally a catcher. Bryce Harper, so on. There's so many people and players in the big leagues now that we've seen transition from that role. You specifically transitioning from a catcher to a relief pitcher. Whose idea was that originally?
That idea, I think, the Dodgers have that. I think Deshaun Watson, Logan White, it was a lot of people involved in that, see that I have a great arm. And I know Deshaun wanted me to be a pitcher, already, but he just gave me that chance to, see if my hitting was coming around. And credit to him, man. I didn't want to do it first.
I was going to say, were you hesitant to do it?
No, I told him, like, till today, I told him, like, what was I thinking? I told him, like, no, be home. Like, I want to release. Like, I don't want to be here. And, I still want to give it a try with our team as a catcher, and then he dropped that. It's like, no, I'm going to suspend you. So you got to, I'm like, all right, hold that thought for a second. Let me go just talk to my mom and dad, my brothers. And, my dad told me that, son, that I always want to see you as a pitcher. And that what kind of, helped me get through it. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to give it a try. And, these John sent me to, I was there at the AAA at that time, filling in for AJ Ellis, I remember, for a couple of weeks. And then I went back to high A and start learning how to pitch with Charlie Huff. And Charlie Huff, give credit to him. He saw, I think he might saw that I wasn't unhappy young kid, try to do something that I didn't want to do, but he bring that joy, that fun. And Franklin Stupp also too, as a hitting coach at that time, we was living in the same apartment complex that every time he's like, hey kid, like 11 o'clock, I'm leaving the ballpark. And if you want to ride, let's go. And take a ride, short enough. He's talked into me about pitching, giving a try. And then when I get to the ballpark with Charlie Huff, he's having pictures of Nolan Ryan and all these other good pitchers, kind of to teach me how to pitch, and I had a blast doing it. And I threw my first bullpen, I remember. And then my second bullpen, Dijon was there. Because that year, I'm not supposed to pitch. That year, I'm supposed to go to instructional league and pitch in the game. I just have to learn the rest of the way there with Charlie Huff. And Dijon saw my bullpen. It's like, no, let's put him in live BP. Next thing, blowing that fastball by everybody. And it's like, no, put him against our best hitter. Do the same thing. And then next thing you know, I was in the game against Lake Elsinore, in high A. So my first outing, 10 pitches, 2 strikeouts. And from there, I never looked back. It was unreal. I mean, I got protected on a 40-man with only 11 innings, so they had 40-man roster.
They knew immediately they had something. You knew immediately there was something there. That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. So, I got to give credit to them. I got to give credit to John and Logan also to send me to Fall League that year, because there was a discussion in term with them. Should they protect me in the 40-man or not? Yeah. And they just sent me to Fall League. Like, let him go to Fall League. And, because we might lose him anyway. Yeah. But the story that I get now from them, of what they tell me about the stories, how crazy it was. And went to Fall League, dominate, and next thing you know, I was in the 40-man. And then probably throw 40 innings only in my league day, and I was in the big leagues. So it was a great story, man. Great story.
Well, how much did it help you, especially early on? You've been a pitcher for a long, long time now, but early on, how much did it help you? A catcher is the hardest position on the field. Yeah. You have to control the game. You have to control a pitching staff. How much did being a catcher at first help you transition to the pitcher role?
It helped me a lot. Because the thing is, you learn a lot of characteristic on your pitching staff and know what to do in situations. And you just learn your pitching staff and learn how to read swings. As a catcher, I used to pay attention a lot of reading swings of what guys are looking for. And that helped me a lot. And I think what really helped me also too is that, but it's like, all right, I'm gonna do this pitching. I didn't hit. Well, nobody's gonna hit. That's the other thing that I put that carry that anger that I couldn't make it as a catcher. Well, nobody's gonna hit either. So it's just that anger towards it, and also read swings, and didn't know that I have a God given pitch was that natural cutter.
Yeah.
That all plays in, and it is who I am today.
I've always wondered, you have a very like iconic and rare way that you come set with all the movements you have with your arm and with your leg and your shoulder and everything.
Yeah.
I've always been interested in how did you get to that? Was that something that started very early on when you transitioned, or is it something that you just felt more comfortable with as you started pitching and then gravitated more and more towards that? How did that all come to be?
I think that happened more like in 2021. I started having that more because it's one thing that I always have a problem that my hip is not close enough, and
Mhm.
I lose command, I lose velo. Um, I lost the characteristic of my cutter, and I'm flying open too early. So when you see me like kind of shake a little bit more, it's just I'm trying to like lock my hips close and then make sure I just push to the catcher and keep my hip close and have that direction to go to the home plate to make me stay more consistently. That's why I kind of bring it more
Yeah.
now. It's a thing that I always have a problem that I'm flying open too early,
Yeah.
and then my cutter's gonna get hit, and when my cutter's not good, it's a very hittable pitch. When my cutter's on track, it's very hard to the hitter. So and plus everybody know what I'm gonna throw majority of the time. So
Yeah.
I gotta make sure everything that I'm doing so I can stay close and have a better direction, and stay through the ground, and deliver that pitch. So that's a thing that developed more at the end.
You've had a chance throughout your career to play for two of the most iconic franchises in all of baseball, two of the oldest stadiums. You got Dodger Stadium, Fenway Park. I mean, how awesome, one, has it been to be able to play for such historic franchises in your career? But I'm also interested specifically in those two stadiums. Like, how are they similar? How are they different? What's the atmosphere like there? But I guess first, how awesome to be able to play the majority of your career for the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium, and then be able to, at this point, later on in your career, play at Fenway Park, where all that history is as well.
Starting off with the Dodgers is a blessing. When you talk about the Dodgers, you're talking about Jackie Robinson. You just open up doors for all of us. Not only black people, but all of us, like around the world,
Hmm.
come and play the game, and it changed the whole lifestyle. So that's the one unique thing about the Dodgers. And LA, man, LA is nothing. It's no comparison. Like it's hard to compare, Boston and LA, but LA, the vibe in LA is unbelievable. Like coming in, I remember when I was to come with California Love, my walk-up song, and how the
Yeah.
fans be, rocking. It's intense. It's intense, and it's a great organization to play. And I'm glad that I have majority of my time there, and such a historic, franchise. And Fenway, man. I mean, Fenway is unbelievable. Like every day I'm waking up, like I hope I pitch tonight.
Yeah.
Like that's a historic ballpark to
Yeah.
pitch. One of my favorites so far, and I'm glad that I play for both of those teams, which is the Dodgers and Boston, and also my homegrown, like my hometown. Like I've grown up being a Braves fan. I'm glad that I played for 1 year with the Braves also too. But
Yeah.
pitching in Dodger State, I would say the three ballparks, my three favorite stadiums to pitch is the Dodger Stadium, Fenway, and Wrigley Field. Those are my three spots that I love pitching in.
Yeah.
It's such a great historic ballparks.
You mentioned Jackie Robinson and how he not only opened doors for black people to play in Major League Baseball, but for people all around the world. And it really
Yeah.
just makes me think like how special it is. Every one day a year, everyone wears number 42 on their backs. But
Yeah.
for you to be able to do that in a Dodgers uniform in LA, I mean, it just means more in a Dodgers uniform, and had to have been so special for you to wear that number on your back. I mean, how cool was that to wear a number 42 Dodgers uniform and pitch in it?
Man, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That feeling, I probably would not feel it no more. Like on Jackie Robinson Day, I think it's a feeling that only when you wear that uniform,
Yeah.
you know how much it means to you and how much it is. Like God, you wearing the Dodgers,
Yeah. That's cool.
42 in your back. I remember I used to always tell Alon Rosen, like, why not we're not wearing that Brooklyn hat? Like that to
Yeah.
me,
That'd be
I
sick.
always say that even that I'm not playing with the Dodgers no more, I always say the LA Dodgers should wear that Brooklyn hat on 42 days, just that
Yeah.
Brooklyn uniform, representing Jackie Robinson. I mean, it's phenomenal, man. I mean, that feeling, I will never get it back no more.
Yeah.
Wearing other uniform, but still, it's still a great feeling. You remember what Jackie did for all of us, how he changed the world, and it's still a special day. But the
Yeah.
feeling you have wearing that uniform, yeah, I probably will not feel it no more in any other uniforms.
You spent the majority of your career
Yeah.
was spent there in Los Angeles. What was it like for the first time going back to Dodger Stadium as a visitor, as an opponent?
Man, emotional, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. It feels so weird that I have to make a right turn, not a left turn in the elevator. You know, I have to go to the first base side. Um, the fans was great. I got a standing ovation.
Mhm.
Um, when they did a little ceremony for me, it was great, but it was tough. I mean, you talk about spending. That's a team that signed me. That's a team that converted me. Did everything. From a boy become a man, and married with 4 kids and all that stuff I experienced wearing that uniform. So
Yeah.
winning a championship with them. So yeah, I mean it was a little tough in the beginning, but then hey, once the game started, it's crazy. The fans, I remember the fans give me that standing ovation, but when I came in the ninth, it's like, oh man, like all I hear is boos. I'm like, hey, get it. I respect it. That's how LA is sometimes. Like, hey, he's gonna come in and try to close the game, and so yeah, but it's still fun. I'm looking forward to go there again this year.
Yeah.
Starting All Star, yeah, after All Star break, we starting there, and it's no better place to pitch than the Dodger Stadium. So it will be my number one stadium to pitch in.
There's only a few people in the world that will ever be able to answer this question, but what is it like to have the all-time saves record for such a storied organization and to be considered the greatest closer in the history of the Dodgers organization?
You know, it feels great. Sometimes, I still didn't put my time and think about it, because I still want to feel like I want to prove myself wrong,
Yeah.
that I can do much more. But if I have to look back, man, it's awesome. It's awesome to see that I had 350 saves there.
Yeah.
No, you was hoping to get more save there, get to 400, 500 in one uniform, but
Yeah.
you know, you understand the business that we go our different ways, and I'm happy where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And but yeah, if I have to look back and say that I'm an all-time safe leader in the LA Dodgers uniform, it can be better than that.
Yeah.
Like my name will be there. Till like if someone knocked that record down, it will be there. If you look up the LA Dodgers who have the all-time safe leader, my name is on it. It's
Yeah.
it's, it's so real. A kid that come from Curaçao, hitting the ball on my parents' wall, make that wall dirty, with a tennis ball and even with the old baseballs. And um, now that I'm in the big leagues, I never thought this,
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. And yeah, it's awesome to have such kind of accomplishment in one of the historic franchise
Yeah.
and probably in sports.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's awesome.
That's incredible, man. That's a really cool thing to have, and that's really really cool to hear you talk about as well. And now you're with a Boston Red Sox team
Yeah,
that this young rotation is
yeah,
currently top 3 in all of baseball. I mean,
yeah.
what can you say about this young rotation and what they're doing out there in Boston?
I gotta give credit to everybody. From Bailey to um, AC to all the way up to Breslow. So they spend time on this. They spend time on this to, you know, build a better system for us to succeed. And um, it's unbelievable watching all these guys that have their challenges last year and now this year, it's make that quick turnover and having such a success. And also us being hurt, like
Yeah.
Whitlock down, Veda went down, Bayo went down,
O'Neal for a little while.
yeah, Leo for a while, we lost, Story. So it's a lot of things that happen, but you still see us keep, stay above, and it's unbelievable, man. I'm having a blast watching these guys succeed. And, you know, the message is going to be pitch, pitch, pitch.
Yeah.
If we keep pitching, sure enough, the hitting is going to be more consistent, and we just got to give our hitters chance to win ball games, and I think we'll be in good shape.
What is you mentioned the formula and the blueprint that Bailey and Alex Cora have sort of created there? What I mean, in a nutshell, what would you say that is? Because from an outside, it appears that Andrew Bailey comes in and this young rotation that
Yeah.
I think many people from the outside were saying, well, the Red Sox aren't going to be very good this year, but you guys have just pitched your asses off this year.
Yeah.
It feels like from the outside, a lot of these young arms just aren't afraid to pitch off of their off speed and throwing a lot of off speed pitches. And I don't know if that's something that he's preaching or what it is, but he has certainly changed the culture there in Boston with how this pitching staff is going about their business.
I think it's just develop of see what is your best pitch.
Yep.
I think meeting with all those pitchers and see what their strength is and kind of develop a secondary pitches to kind of protect helping them with their strength. So if I'm seeing how the game is going lately, it's like they develop a lot of guys, even with our bullpen with Bernardino and all them. Like Bernardino developed a great cutter, Whitlock, a great sinker, and
Yeah.
so I think it's knowing what their strength is and kind of like help them develop the secondary better, and also the information of what we're getting, to face the other opponent. Sometimes too much information will hurt you also too. That crowd your mindset for you to go do what you have to do and know what you have to do for you to succeed.
Yeah.
I think they give you just enough information, and man, I think you gotta give credit to them of how they've been putting this thing together at the development side of it.
Absolutely. Kenley, I got a few fun questions for you before we finish up here. First of which being, you have been an all-star 4 times throughout your career. Most recently, last season. Do you have a favorite moment from your all-star game appearances?
Favorite moment from my all-star game? Oh man. I will say 2017 when I balked, actually. Our game, like I kind of don't know what I was thinking, and I feel so embarrassing that I balked. And then I punch out the next 2 hitters. I think I punched right after that. Yeah. That was crazy. I'm like, you know what? It's embarrassing. I'm just gonna throw all cutters, and I was so amped up throwing 96 cutters and
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta say 2017.
I remember that. I remember seeing you were throwing cutters and they were all flashing up red, and it's like, damn, Kenley's feeling it today.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. Yeah, I think it was more embarrassing by balk. Like I'm like, how are you gonna balk in the All-Star game?
You probably hold one of only a few balks that have ever happened in a MLB All-Star game.
Yeah, so I think I was more embarrassing. And I'm like, I gotta get out of here, and I'm angry, and I'm freaking letting it go, but it was fun.
You have, I know your answer for your most favorite. You said Dodger Stadium will always hold, such a place in your heart, and that's your favorite place to go pitch. But on the contrast of that, when you're traveling around the league, what is your least favorite stadium to play in?
Oakland Athletics is, Yeah, so yeah, that's my least place to go.
Yeah, that's 99%. 99% of the answers I get are Oakland,
Yeah.
but you only this might be the last year of it, so you never have to go there
Yeah,
again.
so you never know. Yeah.
How'd you end up settling on the number 74?
74. The story is long, but I'm gonna give you a quick story.
Yeah.
My parents, that's my parents. That's the house that I grew up in, number 74. And a lot of things happened, in the past with my mom and dad. My dad used to be a construction, and one of the companies sued my dad, and then my parents have to go refinance the house to get more
Mhm.
money to pay, who have to pay, like, getting sued. And then my dad got a stroke from high blood pressure, couldn't work no more. And then, we all tried to help, all I had three brothers. We all tried to help our parents to just hold on to the house, and I remember they're about to lose the house in 2009. And, I was a catcher at that time, and they switched me as a pitcher. You couldn't see the light. We just lost the light.
Yeah.
Like, how are we going to get out of this? And next thing you know, I got protected on 40 man. Then my mom got a stroke. Like,
Mhm.
she's suffering diabetes. She couldn't work no more. It's like, okay, it's getting even worse. And like, when I got protected in the 40 man, that kind of saved them a little bit. I was sending money home for them,
Mhm.
for them to survive, paying the house off. And I remember went to January in 2010. We went to those things that you do winter. I forgot the name of it. That all the prospects go to Dodger Stadium, and you do a little touring.
Yeah.
And Mitch Poole put in my locker, I saw 74. I'm like, wow. And I told Mitch, I'm like, you know what? Don't change this number one day when I get called up. And next thing you know,
Wow.
2.5 months later, I got called up to the big leagues. And I saved my parents' house, and all my checks was going to pay their house off, and I surely did pay their house off that year. And I rocked 74, and I'm grateful that has a meaning for me that I saved my parents' home.
What a story, man. That is
Yeah, yeah,
incredible. That's a really
yeah,
cool story.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I won't change that number. So that
No,
will
you
be
shouldn't. No, that number that
yeah,
number's not being changed.
yeah.
All right, next one for you. What is harder, closing out the 9th inning or catching 9 innings?
I think right now, harder will be catching 9 innings for sure. Harder, I think I'm having so much fun closing ball games. So it's a natural thing for me. It's fun, and catching, like you say, if you do anything less than be amped up to close the ball game, it's gonna be tough for me mentally right now.
If you had continued catching and also figured out that you could pitch, who would be the best two-way player in the game right now, you or Shohei Ohtani?
Oh no, Shohei. 100% Shohei. I mean, I would probably say he would probably not have a better defense than I would have. But man, I think this man is putting an all-time offensively right now.
Yeah,
So it's a blast watching him.
yeah.
Swing the bat every night. I'm still, hey, anytime I have a chance, I'm watching, them play, and I think it's a great team, man. I'm enjoy watching Shohei swing the bat.
Yeah. Kenley, this last question is submitted by my producer, Taylor, and it reads, my producer, Taylor, is about to have a baby girl. Do you have any tips on being a girl dad?
Oh man, I think probably gonna be more sensitive in life, So any tip is spend a majority. Thing is with me, with my two, especially my baby girl Kijia right now, just
Mhm.
try to spend majority of time with her.
Yeah.
Just make sure, because you keep hearing it that whenever they get older and they have to move on, and you want them to have a man like you, right? So who you are, how you is with your wife, and all that stuff. So, and teach them about life. Period. So,
Yeah.
especially for girls, life. I think for females even harder for us. So
Yeah.
they go through so many stuff that you can't compare men and women.
Yeah.
So I think us being there on their side and be their backbone. You know, whenever they fall, be there for them. You know, so I think maybe that might be. I'm still learning. You know, I'm still in my early. Daughter's about to be 3,
Yeah.
so I'm still learning. So I think just be that foundation for them, for a girl. I think is the best thing for them in life.
Kenley, this has been a lot of fun, man. I appreciate it. Always been a fan of yours out on the field and watching you go about your business, but now an even bigger fan of you as a person. And I just can't thank you enough for hopping on here, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Good luck the rest of the year, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, I just wanted to thank Kenley Jansen again for joining me. What an awesome conversation. What an awesome guy. It was really, really special, honestly, hearing about that story of how he got the number 74. Hearing about going back and playing at Dodger Stadium as an opposing player. I thought it was funny when he was like, yeah, it was really hard for me to learn to turn right and not left anymore. Just all of it, honestly. I loved every bit of that conversation. I hope you all did as well. The all-time saves leader for the Los Angeles Dodgers, an all-time great closer, and it was really fun to be able to talk to him and get to know him as a person here on Flippin Bats. So thank you all for listening. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple or Spotify. You can also watch everything on Spotify. You can watch on YouTube as well on the Flippin Bats YouTube channel. And make sure you follow us on TikTok. We're getting closer and closer to 100,000 followers. And yeah, we put some really cool stuff out there. So I appreciate you all for listening. I appreciate Kenley Jansen for joining. And until next time, my friends, remember, find your bat and flip it. Peace.